Stephen Smallwood, CEO of Adjusting Online. I'm here with third-generation insurance professional Justin Morton, and I want to have him kind of do a little discussion with us about the auto adjusting industry and some of the pros and cons that go along with it. So I want to have Justin introduce himself and talk to you a little bit about his career and where he sees the auto adjusting industry.
Thanks, Stephen. Happy to be here. Looking forward to the discussion. I am an auto damage appraiser with a large insurance company. I've been in the insurance industry for over 10 years now, third generation insurance professional, and I'm happy to talk with you today about the auto damage appraisal industry and the different roles and opportunities, and what somebody might find rewarding, and the benefits with the industry and what they can expect in a career in appraising.
I love it. So Justin has also been in development with us on an auto appraiser / adjuster course that a new insurance professional can take to get started in that profession for auto adjusting, auto appraising. What would you say about auto adjusting as a career path choice for the college age crowd or young adults who are looking for a career path that will fit their lifestyle and do the things that they want to do in life, but yet it'll be rewarding for them without them necessarily having to have taken a 4-year career path in college?
Yeah, I think it would be a great opportunity for a young adult or a college-age individual, somebody who's ready to start their career and put in the work needed, ready to make that commitment to a career. It's something that wouldn't require a 4-year college degree, which is, awesome, because you're able to really get in there and get started, get working, start making some income as you're building your career, and then setting yourself up for success long term. So putting in the work early to be in a good position years down the road.
So it's hard work. It's not like it's some just gimme.
It is going to be hard work. You are going to have to be dedicated to it, put in the time, put in the effort, but the rewards, I think, are more than enough to make up for the effort and the commitment that it takes. And starting young in your career, I think, is really the best time to start, because you're able to maybe make some sacrifices early when you're able to set yourself up for the career long term.
I love that. That's what I saw in the property inspections and adjusting path. Was I was 22 when I started. This is 20 years ago, and it's exactly the same thing as auto adjusting in the regards of it's hard work, but it's rewarding, and it's something that you can do that will support you and your family for a lifetime. And I agree, it is a whole lot easier to start off when you're just getting started in life, because there are times where you may make some sacrifices with time, but in the long term, it's something that'll be very beneficial for anybody wanting to get started with a new career path.
Absolutely.
So, in your experience, how much flexibility or time freedom do you feel like you have as an auto appraiser or adjuster versus other career paths and a typical 9 to 5?
Yeah, Stephen. So when we think of auto damage appraising, really there's several different roles and opportunities that are going to be out there for an appraiser. Some different career paths that you could take, which are going to have a little bit of a different answer there. So when you're thinking of the appraising industry, I would classify it as career choices of either working in a body shop, working for an insurance company, company or working for an independent appraisal company. Working in a body shop is going to be more of your 9-to-5 type of position.
Right.
Then the insurance company and the independent appraisal company, those are positions that are going to be out in the field, going to different locations throughout the day, and that's where you're going to get your flexibility.
Some time freedom.
So as an employee of an insurance company, it is going to be more on a 9-to-5 type of basis, but you have a lot of flexibility to build your day as you see fit and what would work for you. So if you needed to take the kids to school a couple days a week, you could start a little later, work a little later in the day. If you needed to run some errands during the day or have an appointment, you have some flexibility where you can build your appointments around what you need. Now, on the independent appraisal side, working as an independent adjuster, an independent appraiser, that's where you're really going to have the most flexibility to, work the days that you would want to work, the time that you would want to work, the months that you would want to work. And once you get established in the industry and your career is really progressing and moving forwards, then you're going to find even more flexibility and freedom. At the beginning of your career, probably want to just take advantage of any and all opportunities that are going to come your way.
Kind of like credit.
And be more apt to say yes.
Yeah.
As you get established and get your relationships built, that's when you're going to have a lot more flexibility and be able to kind of pick and choose what's going to work best for you, for the specific companies that you're working with or the times that you're working and when you're going to take off.
I like that. It gives them a sense of when you're getting started in the industry, it's more of a accept what's given to you so that you can begin developing yourself and then determine which route you want to take in the future. But in the beginning, it's kind of like credit. You got to take what's given and then move on from there and build yourself up in the industry, build a name for yourself.
And that's why I would say that it's good for a young adult to be starting out in the industry, because you're saying yes to all the opportunities when you're younger, and you're setting yourself up for more freedom when you'd like to have it as your family grows.
And that's more as far as the young adult concept. If somebody is an auto body mechanic for 20, 30 years, we're talking maybe a little bit different in the ability to pick up work right out of the gates, right? I mean, their career has led them to a certain point where they're already established, where a young adult may have to accept the first job that's offered to them so that they can get the experience, right? Is that?
Yes, up front, just any and all opportunities that come your way. If a company asks you if you can take an additional 5 claims, and that means you have to work on Saturday to get those done, that's what you want to do up front. Later on down the road, you'll be able to be a little more picky and see what works best for you.
I'm seeing a lot of parallels between property adjusting and auto adjusting in that regard. That's good.
Yep.
So, as a third generation insurance professional, how did it take you to find your groove within the industry and really hit your stride? And were there any obstacles along the way?
Yeah, Stephen, so when I started out as an appraiser, I would say it took me a good year, maybe a year and a half, to really get my flow down and get going smoothly, where I felt real comfortable with really any situation that I was going to be presented. The thing with auto appraising, you're never going to know all the answers. It's something that you are going to be learning, growing, and developing throughout your career. There's new trends in the automotive industry where even if you knew everything 10 years ago, you're not going to know everything now. So, getting started, you want to have a good foundation to get out there and start inspecting the vehicles, but know and understand that you are going to continue to learn throughout your career, and usually it will probably take somebody about a year to really feel comfortable, again, with any assignment that you're going to get, any situation, you're going to know how to handle that.
It's like, I guess, any career path. At the very beginning, you have no idea what you're doing, so it's going to take, there's a learning curve. And it's, I guess, a little better than the tech industry in the regards that tech, I know after 6 months your knowledge is kind of obsolete. You got a little bit more freedom here to learn and grow before the knowledge that you had needs to be updated.
A lot of the basics are going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Some of the trends of the automotive industry, are changing, but a lot of the basics are the same. If you get your foundation set, then you're just going to grow off of that.
So what's your general day-to-day workflow like? Because I know you're on the staff side, but what would a workflow look like typically, staff versus even an independent appraiser or adjuster, and kind of let us know what the differences are on that.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, starting out, you might have some slow periods while you're getting everything set up with your different companies and everything, and then just in the industry in general, there's going to be some ups and downs with volume. In general, I would say an appraiser is going to average look at probably about 5 cars a day. That would usually take, about your full day worth of work with all your travel and paperwork and everything that would be needed. There might be some days where you're only going to have 2 cars to look at, and then some days where you might have 7 cars to look at in a day. There's some flexibility there where it's not always going to be the same, and some flexibility there where I can set my schedule for, if I know that I need to be done early one day, then I can schedule a few less cars and then pick it up the next day when I have the extra time. Okay. So the workload, normal is going to be average about 5 cars a day, but it might fluctuate from day to day to come out to the average in the long run.
Okay. And at what point would you consider, like, how would somebody expect, or when might somebody expect rather, a heavier claim volume? You talked about the different seasonal times of the year. What points could they expect a heavier claim volume, and maybe what are some pro tips for how do you deal with high intensity claim volumes?
Yeah, so there are going to be fluctuations in claims volume if you're handling just regular daily claims, but when you're really going to see the high volume of claims is when you're working in any kind of storm or catastrophe type of event. So whether hail or hurricane would be the primary types of storms or catastrophes that are going to bring volume in the auto appraisal industry. And when working in a catastrophe type of event, the volume is going to be more. Instead of looking at 5 cars a day, you might be looking at 10 to 15 cars in a day. When you have the high claims volume, the expectation would be to work the hours to help get through those as quickly as possible. When working in a catastrophe event, it's not uncommon to work 12 plus hours a day.
And you're taking what, 45 minutes-ish? 45 minutes to an hour per inspection?
About 45 minutes probably, yep.
Okay.
And then you have the drive time and everything in between the assignments. So you're going to have some paperwork at the end of the day as well to wrap up. So 10 to 15 claims a day in a storm event. With the high volume of claims, the main thing that I find helpful is to take the time to set yourself up for success. Sometimes it's better in the long run to spend some extra time up front to set your schedule right, and then just always be aware. Sometimes spending an extra hour today can save 3 hours tomorrow. So depending on where your claims are going to be, sometimes you might have an outlying area that's maybe an hour away, and it would be more beneficial for you to do any and all claims out there in one day,
same time,
as opposed to driving back and forth multiple days. So just being organized and knowing the work that you have to do, setting yourself up for success by sometimes spending some extra time and energy up front so that you can be a little more fluid with your travel patterns, or just making all the correct contacts up front so that you have your schedule set each day when you wake up.
I like that. So for auto appraisers, auto inspectors, adjusters, set your goals. That way your expectations are actually met on time, and you're not finding yourself playing catch up in the middle of a storm, which can, I know, be a little bit intimidating and overloading on some individuals if they're not prepared properly. In your opinion, is an in-depth auto mechanics knowledge required prior to somebody getting started in this industry?
So I really don't think an in-depth mechanic knowledge is necessary to get started. When you're out there writing estimates for auto appraisals, most of your estimates are going to be for collision repairs and not really mechanical type of repairs. The knowledge that you'll need to get started, we're going to be able to provide to you in the auto damage appraising course. This is going to give you that foundation to start your career and grow from there. So there are some terms in the automotive industry, some repair procedures and operations and overview of the repair process that would be needed to go out there and look at a vehicle and write an estimate for the repair cost. That's what we're going to be able to provide to you in the course, is that basic foundation to get started, and then you can grow your knowledge from there.
And it's always good to continue growing your knowledge, whether it's through just your own research or taking a course that gives it to you. And would you say the software, like the one that we're using primarily, the biggest one in the industry, CCC for auto, that's going to carry a lot of the load for somebody that's just getting started, so there's less stress on them to know exactly what every piece is. It's in the system.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something that we're going to be able to show in the course as well, is how to use the system to help you. There's a lot of good information in there, if you know where to find it and how to look for it, that would help you to really not need to know everything about the repairs, but CCC and the other estimating softwares are going to give you information in there as well to help you to be able to write the estimate, even if you're not 100% on the way the repairs might take place or what might be needed. The system is going to provide you with a lot of that.
And so a new person getting started would actually be able to expand upon their knowledge just using the software alone.
You're going to learn as you go, just in there plugging in estimates. Absolutely.
I love it. Okay. In your opinion, outside of the direct job itself, the direct application of knowledge, what are some indirect skill sets that students or newcomers to the automotive appraisal industry can expect to take away from learning this trade and becoming an insurance professional?
Yeah, so as you're out there doing the job, I think there's definitely 3 things that you're going to develop, and that's going to be customer customer service, time management or organization, and negotiation skills. So, customer service is really one of the main parts of the job without really having anything to do with writing the estimate or looking at the car and the damages. But we're working with customers all day, and just being able to walk them through the process, explain everything to them, provide that service to them is something that you're going to build and develop on as you grow your career. We talked about time management and organization. To be successful, you're going to need to be organized to be able to make the most of your time, and that's something that you're going to be able to develop and grow as you get your flow down, how you set yourself up for success. You might need to tweak it some and just make the most use of your time. And then the last one being negotiation skills. We're talking with customers a lot, explaining the process with them, helping them through the process, but we're also speaking with the body shops a lot, the people that are doing the repairs, and that's where the negotiation side comes in, and something that you'll develop as you're out there speaking with the shops, talking through the repair process with them, and being able to come to an agreement on a cost-effective repair. That's what the insurance company is going to be looking for, and a good quality repair. So when you're speaking with the body shops, there's going to be some negotiations there about what repairs are needed, how it should be done, and the overall cost of the repairs.
Yeah. And I think our students, or the people that are actually getting started in the industry, should keep in mind you're kind of the last line of defense, which is why these three skills that are indirect skills of the industry, you're the last line of defense for either the carrier that you're working for, whether it's staff adjusting or independent, and you're also, if you're on the independent side, you're also a representation of the company that hired you to do the work. So having customer service skills is pretty critical in this industry. Goal setting, if you want to be efficient in life, it's always an intelligent path to choose to be efficient with your time, set goals, make sure you've got expectations for yourself, for the company that hired you, or for the carrier that ultimately is paying for that claim. And then negotiation skills, that will serve you well in multiple areas of your life as you go through life, not just in the appraisal side. But so I love those indirect skills. I think that's pretty solid.
Absolutely. If you can, work on and develop those three skills, then that's just going to further your career and help you to be more successful.
After being in the industry for over a decade, what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job? Is it handling customers? Is it what piece would fit?
For me, I think there's two things really. The flexibility and the freedom, and the customer service side. So helping the customers through a difficult situation is very rewarding. And as an insurance professional that's been doing this for some time, these claims and these situations seem every day to me.
Right.
It's not every day to the customer. And always, I want to step back and realize that and take the time to explain things to the customer, walk them through the process, and by them understanding and being appreciative for all the information. At first they had no idea what was going on or how the claim was going to work or the repair process. I explain it to them, and you can just see the relief that they know that we're going to take care of everything for them, help them through the process. That can be very rewarding. And then also with the flexibility and the freedom with the job, being able to, when I'm in town, when I'm not out of town on deployment for a storm, I have the flexibility to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
And, if I want to take my kid to school one day for a special event, then I can work that into my schedule. If I want to be off a little early one day, again, for something that my kids have going on, then I'm able to work that in. And that's just an awesome feeling to know that I can be there for them for the important things in their lives.
Yeah, that's probably the exact same feeling that I get on the property side is those two aspects: the time freedom with my family, but yet the feeling that I'm taking care of somebody as far as the customer goes. I'm helping them through a tough situation. I absolutely have the utmost respect for those being the driving factor, I guess the most rewarding factor for you in the career. And I think for most people, I think that's going to be the same. I think they'll feel that same sense of accomplishment, and you feel like your life has a solid meaning and purpose when you're making other people's lives better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to go along with those two also is, the stability of the career and the industry, and just knowing that, we have the flexibility and the freedom, we're able to help people, and the career is not going anywhere. The industry is not going anywhere. People have to have insurance. They're going to be driving cars. When people drive cars, they're going to have accidents and need them to be repaired and have the claims. So just knowing that long term, this job is going to be around.
And so to build onto that, would you say, and I know the answer here, but I want to hear you say it, would you say that this is a COVID-proof industry? Because right now, 2020's passed, and we've been dealing with a pandemic, or in times maybe even a recession. Would you say that this career path for auto appraising, auto adjusting, is a COVID-proof career that allows you to continue working and bringing in an income when so many have actually been hit with losing their jobs?
Yeah, I think the industry, from my perspective and looking long term, is really an anything-proof industry, because again, people are going to be driving cars. You have to have insurance. You're going to get in accidents. You're going to have claims. You have to get the cars fixed. In one way or another, somebody has to be assessing the damages, helping the insurance company, helping the body shop. This job is going to be around long term.
Because we're the eyes and ears for the insurance company specifically. We're the ones that show them where the customer and the policy, the issue that they've had, meets within the policy to provide coverage for them.
Absolutely. And helping the insurance company to make sure that the damage is assessed correctly, to pay the appropriate amount for the repairs, make sure that the customer is able to present the damages correctly to the insurance company. So, I see it as long-term stability. The industry is going to be here for the foreseeable future. Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. Tell us some pros and cons, in your opinion, of the auto appraisal, auto adjusting industry compared to the other insurance industry specifics like property adjusting.
So I think for the auto side, a pro would be the time commitment per claim. So an auto claim is generally something that's going to be able to be completed faster than a property claim. There are going to be some auto claims that you are going to be able to complete in 30 to 45 minutes. Once you're done with it, never do anything else with it again. So it could only take 30 or 45 minutes to complete an assignment. some of them are going to take longer. Some of them are going to have supplements that you have to complete, so there will be some additional time later on. But on a total loss claim that takes you 45 minutes, and once you're done with it, you're done with it, then that's going to be a lot faster. That's all your paperwork, everything done, and back to the carrier, you're done with it. That's a pretty fast assignment completion compared to a property claim. So with the claims taking less time than property, you'd be able to complete more in a day. Also a pro. With all of that, the fee schedule for an auto appraisal is probably going to be less than property. So you probably get paid less per assignment than property, but the time commitment is also less, which means that you can do more assignments in a day. The other big pro, I think, for some people would be with auto, you are never going to have to climb onto a roof. And for some people, that might not be a problem. Yeah. But for others, that would probably be a big deterrent from property adjusting.
Yeah. I've had a few people tell me, well, what if I don't want to climb on a roof? And I've always said, hey, maybe you would be better at auto inspections, auto appraisals,
for some people, getting on the roof is a deal breaker.
Right.
So maybe you still want to get into claims, but that's just not something that you're able to do, or not something that you're comfortable with. Yeah. Then auto might be a good fit for you.
Awesome. So what would you say a good point would be to I guess think about for the new auto appraiser or adjuster, as far as what they could expect to earn annually, maybe even break down per inspection on the independent side versus a W-2 job is going to be different, but.
Yeah, so the income potential is definitely there. It can be a career that's going to definitely provide for your family and everything. There's a couple of different roles that you could find yourself doing as an auto damage appraiser, and those are going to look a little bit different as far as the income potential. You could find yourself as working in a body shop as an advisor for a body shop. You could be a staff appraiser or an independent appraiser. I would say the body shop salary potential is really going to vary quite a bit.
Depending on where you live.
Where you live, shop to shop, that's really up to the shop as how they're going to pay. So some shops might pay their employees hourly, some might be salary, some might be incentive-based, based on the amount of work that you're putting through the shop and the total cost of the repairs. But on average, I would say a body shop estimator probably look at a salary or income of around $50,000. Now, again, we're talking about an industry and a career that you don't have to have a 4-year college degree for, and something that you can build on from there as well. So probably about $50,000 if you're working in a body shop. I'd say that's about average. As far as a staff appraiser working for an insurance company, the salary probably somewhere around 60 to 70, and there's going to be some benefits with working for an insurance company. You're going to have the health coverage, you're going to have the 401k usually, you're going to have a company car provided usually. So on top of the salary, there are going to be some additional benefits.
Perks of being a salaried employee.
To consider. If you're an independent appraiser or working for an independent appraisal company, then the income potential is out there, and when you're you're willing and able to work hard and do the claims volume, then the potential would be, 80,000, 100,000. That's not unheard of, not uncommon. Always understand with any career is the time and effort that you're putting in, the work that you're putting in is going to ultimately dictate the income that you're able to bring home. So as an independent appraiser, staying focused on completing the assignments daily, weekly, monthly, throughout the year, having a plan set up to, at the end of the year, have looked at the number of cars that you wanted to result in the income that you were looking for. The opportunities are out there for a very good income, again, without a college degree generally, and the potential is there if you're willing to put in the work to get there.
Final question for the interview. We'll wrap up. How would you relate the auto appraisal, auto adjusting world for those that are looking to do either one? And in your opinion, I know you had a chance to travel. Give us your thoughts on just kind of some of the things that you've been able to experience.
Yeah, so there's opportunities for each type, and there's the right fit for each type. So some people, given their family structure, their commitments at home, whatever the case may be, where they're not able to travel, there are opportunities in this industry where you can stay local and never have to go out of town, never have to stay in a hotel, throughout the year. And that's what some people are interested in. That's what some people are looking for. So that's an opportunity.
They want to be home every night.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there's other people that are interested in traveling and, doing the work in different areas. With the catastrophes in several different areas, parts of the country at any given time, you could find yourself working, several different places throughout the year. And that's appealing to a lot of people. Me personally, I enjoy that part of it. I like to be able to travel. Although when you're traveling, you're working most of the time, it's still nice to be able to see some different areas that you maybe hadn't been to and wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to, and be able to see different places while, working and providing for your family, but still being able to get out there and do some traveling. I personally, again, I enjoy that part of it. It makes you feel that much more ready to get home and enjoy your family as well. So having some balance and some perspective there with, the opportunity to go out of town, and then the joy of coming back home as well. The
excitement of being home.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I like the travel piece of it, but again, not to say that one way is better or worse than the other. It's just which one is going to fit you.
Perspective.
Absolutely.
Well, Justin, thank you very much for taking time. One, to do this interview. Two, I know the time and effort that's gone into the course. So thank you very much for that. I would like to let everybody know if you're interested in a career path that is very rewarding, and we've gone into some detail about the different things that you can do, but make sure you have the opportunity to explore the course that Justin's actually put together to go through each phase of what it takes to be successful in this industry. And you can find that right on our website, adjustingonline.com. So, Justin, thanks again.